We knew this wasn't gonna work. We tried to tell him. Jacob tried to say, like, bro, you really think they'll stand up?
And I think that's what's more frustrating with me with Derek and why I can never ever be on his side is because your best friend told you that's not a good idea, bro. I feel like Andre in his mind is like, at this point, it would be fucked up for me to leave Dani. Like,
I think Andre chose himself.
He really let her have it. Like, he tore her down in that new coffee shop. Shout out to the new set.
The time he, in his mind, was vulnerable to Ashley, she kind of like, this is nice, but I'm choosing Derek.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Loving Gates, a Beyond the Gates weekly podcast where Brian H. Waters and Queen PR dissects the latest episodes of the new hit show Beyond the Gates. We'll break down all the plot twists, character arcs, and iconic moments with our unique perspectives and a whole lot of love.
Welcome back to Loving Gates, your weekly Beyond the Gates recap podcast. I'm Queen PR.
Brian H. Waters here.
All right, so let's get into last week, shall we?
Yeah, because I got a lot to talk about.
Very jam-packed.
Mm-hmm.
A lot happened. So I want to start with Martin.
Yep.
And his parenting skills, I guess, or some of the decisions that he's making on behalf of what's going on with Samantha. So last week's episode, we see Samantha enduring her punishment for being caught. And I need to reiterate this because I don't think she understands the gravity of the situation that she was caught in. You were literally caught half naked with a boy in the living room with a condom. That is not just like, you forgot to do your chores, so you're grounded for a couple days. Like, I don't think she's understanding in her teenage brain that is like huge. And I do think that she deserves to be punished to the full extent. However, I think Martin is overreacting in so many different ways.
I think so too. I sat there and watched this, and I started getting frustrated for a lot of reasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know I'll say, I don't know what it's like to be the father of a teenage daughter yet. But this is the first time he is. What?
So good luck.
But this is the first time. This is what I got you there for. You're gonna help me, right?
I will try my very best.
Oh wow, this is what we doing here?
I'm just saying, teenage girls are hard. That's why I am not surprised by any of Samantha's actions. That's all.
Right.
I have 4 sisters, by the way, so
yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
So I shout out to your dad. He raised great ones, greatness. But I look at it like, I was irritated with Samantha because, again, the living room, and also, like, it was just like, you're just wasting yourself with this dude. Like, you're rushing for what?
Yes.
Especially when everybody was saying, slow down. Even your mother was saying, look, slow down. Yeah. So that part. But then with Martin, you gotta really lock in with your husband on this. You and Smitty have to really lock in on what's going to be the consequences. And you have resources. It's not like you don't have a mother and an aunt and first cousins. You got Naomi right there. And I know Naomi is a parent, but which we clearly know she doesn't want that job, but she's a woman. You have your mother and your aunt, 2 phenomenal women, 2 different type of women, which you use that to your advantage.
Right.
And this is where I saw that Martin didn't have a great relationship with his dad because his dad has been through that.
Right.
His dad had a teenage daughter, and granted, Kat was different, but we can't act like she was probably a full-fledged saint.
Right.
And for all intents and purposes, you had your grandfather. You go to Vernon. Right. And if you're really desperate, you go to Bill Hamilton. Like, he has all these resources, but he goes off the deep end without even at least tapping in.
I think we talked about it when we were watching the episode, where I feel like fathers of daughters, they have this irrational emotion towards anything involving boys, especially like the start of it, because they don't really know how to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
So they just channel it with like anger and frustration. And they try to blame everything else. It's the boy's fault. It's, and Kat, I feel so bad for her because he really let her have it. Like, he tore her down in that new coffee shop. Shout out to the new set. But I feel like it was so unfair of him to blame Samantha for what Samantha chose to do. One,
blame Kat.
I'm sorry?
You blame Kat.
Yeah, what did I say?
Samantha.
Oh, sorry. But I feel like Kat did everything she's supposed to do as an aunt or like an older woman in Samantha's life. After, having a conversation with her, telling her to wait. If there's anyone that knows the value of sex in their body, it is Kat. Kat literally waited to her fucking 20s to finally have sex, and she waited until she thought Samantha was away. It was an honest mistake. It happens, and Samantha did something that a teenager would do, really stupid, poor judgment, and got caught. So I don't think Kat deserved everything that Martin was bringing her. I think it was very unfair.
I will say this, as somebody who has probably disliked Kat the most on this show, I felt bad for her. And I haven't felt bad for her since Tomas lied and gave her bad dick.
Ooh.
That was the last time I felt bad. First when he lied, and then he, stole her virginity. Mm-hmm. And then, like, it's, him being with her doesn't make that up. Like, it doesn't, make up for that. He's still a jerk. But I felt bad because I'm like, she literally did what she was supposed to do as an aunt. And you remember, I even said I felt like she was overreacting. And you was like, no, she was supposed to. And I was like, but you're supposed to be the cool aunt. You're supposed to ease into it. But again, she was trying to be sneaky. I don't want to say the F word. Huh?
She still can't win losing. She's still being looked at as a horrible influence, which I think is so insane on Martin's behalf. And then quitting Chelsea Cat on behalf of Samantha, like, that is so unfair.
Yeah, that was that. Again, he going too far. This is where, him and Smitty should have had that conversation. I feel like,
and they had just got on that page of like, we're gonna consult each other with everything.
And because at the end of the day, what you gonna do? Keep her from her aunt? Because that's what he's trying to do. That is her aunt. Y'all created this community. Y'all didn't say we're adopting Samantha and Tyrell, just Smitty and Martin. Y'all said the whole Dupree family is adopted, and the whole Richardson family. So y'all bringing them into this community, giving them something they didn't have before, which full-fledged love, because their aunt couldn't take them. So you're going to take a portion of that. And I will say, when she said, I hate you, I wish you would have left me where I was, it pierced my soul, because it's different. Like, I ain't gonna say I said I hated my mother, but I'm pretty sure at one point, behind closed doors, I don't like you, but that's different, because that blood still runs through that vein. Yeah. And at the end of the day, they know cooler heads are gonna prevail. He doesn't know that. Their love isn't at that point yet where, like, if you and your sister have a fight and y'all have a knockdown, drag out argument, at the end of the day, you always know she's still gonna love you.
Yeah. Regardless. Do you know what age they were when they were adopted?
I don't think we do, because I feel like
were they young? Were they like teenagers?
Looking at the flashbacks, I feel like it was only like 2 years, 3 years max.
Really? I think it was longer.
For real? Because I feel like they would have been probably, I feel like they would have just been entering high school.
Because that picture that June carried around, they were very young.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But
maybe they bounced in and out of the system.
Yeah, that may be. And they were like a little older. But, again, being a teenage girl, like, they say that, teenagers say that they don't really mean it. They mean it and they think they mean it in the moment, but they really don't, because when you're at that age, her relationship or potential relationship with Nathan is everything. Like it feels like life or death situation to her right now. So I get it from her perspective, as in I understand why she's being so dramatic, and her behavior doesn't shock me. I do think Martin is that
I have an answer.
Huh?
I have an answer.
What's up?
According to,
yeah,
they said around 9 or 10 years old.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So yeah, you was right about that.
Yeah, but I think Martin being so strict is definitely going to push her more towards the bad girl behavior. She's already, ran away. She already feels like in her mind she has another option in her mom, who happens to be doing well, who she has a relationship with now. But now you have your older brother who knows who Nathan is as a person, so he's already like, no, this is not happening, you're wilding. He's kind of on the parent side at this point. So I'm usually not most interested in the kids storyline, but I gotta say things are really getting spicy in the
Did we even get to Jacob? I mean, Tyrell checking him yet? Like
we did. We talked about it last week during the Halloween.
I mean, not checking him, but checking his sister.
Oh yes.
Like it felt like he didn't really get into that part yet, because she been dealing with daddy tripping.
The parents, yeah.
So
she's trying to get out the house.
Yeah.
And it's so unfortunate, because I feel like Smitty is trying to make it so that her life doesn't completely stop because she made this mistake, and Martin is just going 10 toes deep, and Smitty is just telling Nicole that they are so connected, they're so in tune, they're on the right path of getting to know each, being on the same page with each other. And it's like, actually, Martin's out here wilding, and you need to check him ASAP. So I am more invested in the kids storyline than I have been in a very, very long time. So let's stick with that line of the family, and let's talk about Kat, who I am really starting to root for and just sympathize with. And I never thought I would say that, but I feel like her walking in on Eva calling Ted dad has to be so, soul crushing. And then just with Nicole, with your mother, your whole family dynamic, your whole life that already felt like a lie is like, I feel like Ted has almost been turning the knife for Kat as far as what this affair has unfolded. He has from the beginning has prioritized, in my opinion, Eva's feelings over Kat's feelings, and even sometimes Nicole's feelings when it comes to the access that he allows Leslie to have to him. I think I feel so bad for her.
I do too, but I mean, I blame Ted on this all through and throughout, because at no point did he really kind of sit them down together. And I know it was difficult, but there had to have been a point. It was it was Kat who said, after listening to Chelsea, I'm going to take the initiative and bury the hatchet. It wasn't the dad. He should have started that. And then it was going to be tough, but guess what? You made this bed. You got to sleep in it. You know what I mean? And I understand. Yeah, you have to get to know Eva, because she is your daughter, whether you wanted her to be or not, whether it was, whether you knew or not, she's your daughter. So you have to do that, but you got to work overtime, buddy. You can't sleep. You got to work overtime in mending all these relationships. Like, Martin was cool. He said, you know what? Mad at you, but guess what? I got a sister. Fine. That's checked. You ain't got to worry about that.
Eva's fault.
Exactly. Eva, in all honesty, I feel bad for Kat, but then there's also the part that's like, well, you really mad at her about Tomas, as you should be, but you shouldn't have took Tomas back either. You should have known your worth and said, you know what? You have my sister. You don't get to have me no more. Don't try to win. You know what I mean? So, but I don't have a problem with Eva calling him dad. I think it was weird that he asked her, but if she wanted to and she's willing, by all means.
She says it every 2 seconds now. And I cringe every single time.
But I would not. We thankfully would never know what it's like to be in that situation. But it's clearly something
But
she
no,
been yearning.
because I know situations where like in-laws and stuff like call their in-laws like mom and dad, and like I've never been I never thought I use those terms very sacred, like I'm not just calling anyone mom, I'm not calling anyone dad, and I feel like you have to develop that relationship organically. And I mean it is her dad. I just feel like it just feels too soon, in my opinion.
I mean, it's been 7 months, and
That's so soon. If I walked in on someone calling my father dad like 6 months into a situation, like I wouldn't be able to handle it. Like it just would be too much. It's like too much. Like I would need like a couple years.
I think to put myself out there, right? My older sisters didn't have a fair shot at getting the same access I had to my father, right? But I only known them to say daddy to him. Regardless of where they are, they never called him by his first name. So it was never like weird. You know what I mean? But so I guess like just understanding like, okay, well, if he's 40, he's building a relationship and she's building a relationship, they haven't had a resistance yet. Outside of the part where she got mad about, something about the mother, you know what I mean? But they haven't had their like father-daughter fall out yet. So, but I can understand what you said. It do seem soon, but again,
I'm just sympathizing for Kat. Walking in on that has to be hard.
I would have, I understand, and I think I would have been more if it was about her being her sister versus it's really about Tomas, in my opinion, because I was like, you was about to bury the hatchet.
But that's so different than her calling her dad. Like it's two separate situations. It's apples and oranges. I'm telling you.
I would have liked. See now, I mean, we can't go back. I would have loved to see them get along for a little bit.
Yeah,
and then see, because it still could have been weird though. I'm not going to take that from you, even if they was, hey, what up, girl, whatever, or you okay, you cordial. It still could have been whoa. So I'm not going to take that.
I don't know. I feel like Kat's feelings. Ted doesn't prioritize Kat's feelings.
But that's another thing though, because he has not, to my recollection, really had that intimate time with Kat. Like, Kat came and said, you know what, Dad, I'm mad, but I still love you. Again, Kat being the one, and we talked about, is Kat always right? Maybe the next one is Kat always the bigger person, right? Because she did go to Ted and say, I still love you. I want to check on you.
Right.
I think she should have. He needs to sit up there and he needs to take Kat out on a dinner. He needs to re-court his daughter in a sense.
And I don't think he's ever done that. And that's why I feel bad for Kat, because she's being betrayed. Her and her mom, I feel like, are always kind of like being betrayed in different aspects, and they're just made to like kind of be the bigger person, which I think is why Kat is growing on me. But there's one character or two characters where a lot of gatekeepers just can't like grasp or support them in any way, and that is Leslie and Eva as well. And they have a moment last week where it gets pretty emotional. They've been really bringing the acting on the show recently, because they have a moment where they talk about finally being accepted really by Ted. And getting that validation from society almost that they've been waiting for their entire lives, and the struggle is over. And it was really a come to Jesus moment for them, where they really like, wow, look how far we've come.
And they was crying.
And they were crying and all of that stuff. And it's hard to sympathize with them, because we all still remember what was done, the people that were hurt, the families that were destroyed in the process of this. Do at any point, like we say Kat is growing on us, at any point do you sympathize with Leslie? Are you ever fully convinced where you can sympathize with them, or are they always going to kind of be the villains in the story in Fairmount Pride?
Leslie's always going to be the villain in this
Mm-hmm.
story. I can't sympathize with her, even when finding out Barbara was her mother, because it was just like, yeah, I'm sorry, but so, she just, you can't, like, that was evil what she did. Going and that was evil.
Yeah.
Like, she could have easily said, Ted, she could have went from man to man, well, woman to man, right? Maybe even, but dressing up, being a fake patient, 1,000 wigs, like all the stuff she did, because it's what she also did to Nicole first.
Right.
That's what made it like, So no, I don't sympathize with her. I sympathize with Eva just because it's like, you was really born into this mess.
Yeah. She didn't ask for that.
Yeah, now could she have changed? As she, as they say, like, you act different because you have more information. You get wiser because you know better. Right. She didn't. So it's like sometimes I'm like, okay, Eva, but then it's like, you should act like that. And then, parading on Instagram, breaking kayfabe, they really didn't think I was gonna take my mom aside. Like,
right.
So,
right.
Some parts I don't sympathize with her either.
She's gonna toe the line because she's still Leslie's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still outsiders, and they're always gonna have that mentality. And with Kat, they're probably never gonna be on the same page because of what you said, Tomas, the complicated father situation. Like, it would take a lot of maturing and growing in time, I think, for them to finally, even, because I would, like you said, I would have, like, we were very excited to see that Kat was gonna be the bigger person finally, and it was as much as I wanted to see that confrontation, it was disappointing to see that, oh shit, they're probably never going to be sisters how we all would want them to be.
Hey, gatekeepers, real quick, I want to invite you to catch us on social media. Simply go on our Instagram at 6 Heart Media, where we drop clips of the show as well as the other things we participate in, and make sure you participate in the conversations on our Facebook page. Just go to Love and Them Gates, hit the like button.
You mentioned information, and I couldn't help but think about what's going on with Ashley and Derek, because now Ashley has all the information that she, was very surprised to find out. And so I want to get into that, but I want to lead into that with first starting to talk about Naomi and Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're still reeling after what they refer to as the elephant in the room. And that is where they are with having kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to reiterate what's going on with them, but they are at odds because one wants kids, one doesn't. Where do we go from here? So Jacob has always been a problem solver. Like, he's one of those guys where he has to fix a situation. So he doesn't want to avoid talking about it. Like, he wants to talk about it all the time. He wants to figure out how they can get past it. He even suggested couples therapy, which I also don't think couples therapy is always a negative thing. So they, Jacob goes to Nicole, they talk, and, she suggests maybe Jacob work with kids to kind of get that out of his system in the meantime while they kind of, work through things. But what really erupted Jacob and Naomi's issues is Derek calling them to the hospital for what they think is now, mind you, Derek is handicapped. You're paging your best friends, telling them it's an emergency. I don't know if he said it's an emergency, but basically come to the hospital right now. And it's really because you want to basically ambush your fiance into setting a wedding date. And also, I think more so catching her in a lie. Because Ashley was, she's been hesitant in setting a date. She blamed her work schedule. And I kind of get it, but we'll get into that. So it really brings up Naomi and Jacob's issues, and they kind of get closer to a solution. So it was a lot of, drama happening with all of that.
Well, he was also getting them in trouble because then Naomi was like, wait, so you was keeping this information from me? And they do have that relationship where it seems like they tell each other everything, you know, because like they did come off like, you know, what we said, the most stable couple, the best friends, you know, probably the most stable outside of Vernon and Anita.
Right.
But I was like, dang, Derek, you getting everybody in trouble with this stupid lie.
Yes.
And I respect Jacob because he was trying to, you know, he's trying to toe the line. He's trying to, because the thing that usually happens in those situations is the person who keeps the secret is pressuring the other person to tell so they don't have to hold it.
I'm going to be the one that looks like a fucking jerk.
Yeah, you know, so it's like, no, you say something. It's like, you know, and I want to know, what would the gatekeepers do if they was Jacob? Right. Would they have told Naomi, said, look, you can't say anything, you know? But it's also like Jacob is also protected. Even though he was being a good friend to Derek, he was also protecting his wife because at the end of the day, she's not the bad friend for not telling Ashley, you know? So it's like, well, why didn't you tell her? So you can't say you knew. Exactly. So I just felt like that dude need to go away. He need to go. He needs some new friends. Yeah. Get away from the firehouse, the bros. Yeah. Yeah. He need to reevaluate his life. You know, because we knew this wasn't going to work. We tried to tell him. Jacob tried to say, like, bro, you really think gonna stand up?
And I think that's what's more frustrating with me with Derek and why I can never ever be on his side is because your best friend told you that's not a good idea, bro. Like, I get what you're trying to do, it ain't gonna work. Then you have Shanice, who is a nurse, who is like, I've seen a situation before, I'm telling you, this ain't gonna end how you want it to end. So it's not like you haven't had people telling you and this ain't gonna work.
Whoa, man. More importantly.
Right. And I'm just like, how did you still not understand that this wasn't going to work? And you're doing this all because you're insecure about whether or not Ashley wants to be with you or not. That is not how you start a marriage. You don't bring people in to ambush her. And do you know how at her workplace, do you know how embarrassing that is? Especially in front of our friends. Like, you know, imagine something with us where we, you know, something, we were on the fence about something. And then I just was like, oh, come to this place. And I have like all your friends here to kind of like ambush you. And like, I feel like it's such a violation. And that's not love. I always think about when it comes to love and relationships and, you know, you're forever or whatever it is. I always think about like, how would I tell this story to my kids or my nephews or, you know, people who ask me, and what are you going to say? Like, oh, my fiance brought my best friend to the hospital and forced me to choose a wedding date. And then we got, like, you know what I mean? Like, how are you going to look back on these moments? It's supposed to be filled with love and joy and excitement, not manipulation. And that's what Derek was doing. And that's why I always warn women about like the nice guy, because Jan sees Derek on paper. He's the good guy. He's the firefighter. He helps people for a living. He's a man's man. He's respectful. He's polite. He's affectionate. Like, on paper, he's a perfect man for Ashley. That's why Ashley was willing to settle for him.
He's safe.
A safe option. But at the end of the day, he is manipulative, and he doing this to her. You know, it's fucked up. No, I'm not surprised Ashley went straight to, okay, what was the other option? Andre. Even if she doesn't realize, and I'm saying this from a woman in her mid-30s who has dated and been through a lot, where it's like, okay, what's that other option? Even if I don't like Andre, he's still the alternative. So I'm angry at Derek right now. I'm thinking he's the man I'm going to marry, which I never was really sure about anyway, but he's fucking her and I feel guilty. What else am I going to do? I'm going to go straight to Andre. And Andre surprised me.
Yeah, he did. You know, I'll say this without Derek real quick. When a man, you know, men are taught a lot of times, you know, you conquer everything, right? And even as bad as it sounds, even with women, right? Because you conquer the spouse. You pursue, you hunt, you conquer. Yes, she's mine, right? But when you feel it slipping away, desperate measures and desperate men do desperate things. And that's what it was. Because he knew deep down inside.
Yep.
The moment Ashley Andrea was born into this world.
That damn baby.
He knew he was losing.
Mm-hmm.
That's remember, because this dude was up there. See, he went about it wrong. He was up there trying to feel him out. Yeah, let's invite him over for beers. And invite him to bring somebody. Maybe he should bring a plus one. So in his head, it's like if he sees him with somebody else, that he knows he's not after his woman. And ever since then, he knows Andre has been a threat. Mm-hmm. But he was never man enough to step to Andre. And that was always the problem. He was never man enough to say.
Just be like, I think he did maybe once, but it was way too late at that point.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Andre had already tried to kiss her. Ashley had been having like wet dreams about him. Like, she was, remember?
Yes.
Like, this has been, we need to remind the gatekeepers and even like the new gatekeepers.
A deep dive.
Has been since the first episode, Andre and Ashley saga. It even predates Dani.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so we have gone on this ride and we have seen the ebbs and flows of their connection and whether or not they're going to be together. And Andre chooses Dani. And I don't know if Andre's growing on me, but I respect the fact that his heart is with Ashley. I do believe that. And I do believe that he's been stuck. Like, it's timing. I feel like Andre in his mind is like, at this point, it would be fucked up for me to leave Dan. Like, you know what I mean? As in, like, the window closed to where this would have been decent for this other woman I care about. Like, we're in too deep at this point, which I respect it from Andre's perspective. Now, I think if Ashley 3 months prior would have approached Andre, I think it would have been a completely different conversation because Dani did give Andre an out and he did approach Ashley and Ashley was, I'm so happy. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, girl, you did that. Like, you tried to convince yourself that you love Derek and you missed out. And I really hope that sticks because I don't think it would be fair for Dani because Dani has been very upfront with Andre. Like, I'm going to let you choose what your heart wants numerous times. And Andre always went to Ashley and Ashley shut him down. And now it's kind of like too late.
I think Andre chose himself. And I think as much as we would say, he chose Dani, I think Andre chose himself. And the reason why I say this is because he didn't want to complicate his life. He just moved in with Dani. He still got his condo, but why would he ruin that? Huh?
They took that step.
Yeah, he took that step. He's been living and loving life with Dani. It's been free. It's been, loose. And he's been proven to like win over Bill Hamilton.
Yeah.
In his head, because obviously he don't know about the kisses. So overall, and it's the satisfaction. Yeah. Back then you didn't want me. Now I'm hot. You all on me.
True. And I did say, and I said it, I swear I said once Ashley fucking wants him, he's going to be like, nah, I'm good.
Yep.
Because it was all about, I wanted Ashley and I never got him because everything that they say about Andre the Playboy is there are no women out there that he wants that he doesn't get.
Yep.
And Ashley was that one person that slipped through his fingers and then it got to a point because I do think he genuinely cares and loves for Dani and I don't think that he would want to hurt her this far along into their marriage. Exactly. And he was real. I'm falling in love with my wife. That's real shit.
That still sounds so wild.
It does sound wild, but their marriage is not normal and traditional, which I also respect and love.
But also, whoa, you respect and love Ashley and Andre and Dani?
No. What I love about it is that it's not traditional because I've always been a fan of individuals finding their niche and their and I like that. And it's open communication. They're honest with each other. They care about each other. Like, that's like, I don't want them together, but I like that.
You loving it. You loving it.
I think Andre's good.
but see, and the thing is, like, but yeah, and even though I say he chose himself, I 1,000% agree with everything you said, right?
Yeah.
They do. He does love and respect Dani, and why would he would never want to hurt her? Because we even said, like, even with the hall pass, he can't use it on Ashley, and that's the thing people don't understand about hall passes, right? Some people think it's free. No, there's always restrictions.
Always.
People may not say that, but there's restrictions, and that's a restriction. And he's not stupid. But then also, again, the reason why I say he chose himself, because guess what he could do? He could be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
I think the time he, in his mind, was vulnerable to Ashley, she kind of like, this is nice, but I'm choosing Derek.
Yeah.
So it's like you only get that what you get one time. Not too many times, unless it's true love, where you're going to keep going to the well, taking your, crushed heart, like, hey, no, I want you. Mm-hmm. It's not too many times. In this case, she had that one time. Now, if she get another opportunity, it's literally going to be because Dani and him and Dan said, you know what? Call it quits. The year is over. I won my $10,000. So.
Yeah, we can't forget that bet.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Like, no, you can't mess up the bet, Andre.
Yeah. So it's a lot riding on their relationship, and Andre is convinced of doing the modeling job. Which I think it's a little dramatic how he's being. They do the photo shoot, so they're going to LA without Pamela, but they're using this as their honeymoon. So there is going to be something big happening between Dani and Andre because they are making big moves. But there was one particular scene that Gatekeepers and Sean Freeman and Carla were talking about, and that is that scene where we learn a little bit more. The curtain is pulled back a little bit on the Andre character. He talks about his parents. He talks about what got him into photography, and it got emotional.
It did. Shout out to Sean Freeman for executing that.
Yes.
But it did, and then shout out to the Beyond the Gates directors and producers for scoring that. It made you like the music.
I was like, oh, he getting serious.
Yeah. But I love hearing the backstories. You know what I mean? I love hearing backstories. I was like, yes, show pictures. You know what I mean? Because now it's like, okay, we get why he is the way he is. Now, I thought it was interesting. He said his parents would have loved Dani. You brought up the age gap.
I think especially a mom, would have definitely been like, ding, 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 ding.
It's funny you said, I remember one time, I think I had to be like 22, 24. And I was like, Ma, what happened if I brought home a 40-year-old woman? She's like, grab her by the throat and kick out the house.
Exactly.
And I'm like, but you're not in your 40s, so it's not like if she was like, no. And I'm like, but
it just has inappropriate air to it that one of the parents is going to be like,
Yeah.
And she's like almost family. She's almost family.
Yeah, especially with them.
It's a lot. That's why I'm like, I don't know about that. Maybe it would have took some time for them to grow to love Dani because she is a Dupree. But let's be real. But he's gonna idealize.
But she had to see him as a young man, a little boy.
Okay. Anyway,
so I get why the parents would have been upset.
It would have been sketch, even if eventually they would have warmed up to the situation. Like him talking about they would have renewed their vows at the same time of their Vegas wedding. Like, come on, bro. But he's gonna idolize his parents and every situation because he lost them at such a young age. But it was nice to kind of see a little more vulnerability from him on that aspect, and also why he's usually not a commitment type. And that makes his connection with Dani even more special, and I love that. And I love that he's respecting that.
But I'm also wondering, Ashley though.
You've been wondering that since like day one.
Like you just playboy and you like she cool. She got a good job. Y'all delivered a baby together. So what? Y'all could be friends. You know, she could be your favorite subject that you shoot photography.
I don't know.
But
That's a situation that is definitely gonna be ongoing for sure. We don't understand why. So Dani asked Bill. So they're planning Winterfest, their foundation. They were able to get Laura in to help out Anita, Nicole, and that is basically what the Dupree family do every year, and it's a big thing. Dani asked Bill to MC because it's the anniversary of the event, and Bill has always emceed, and Bill is very flattered that Dani came and asked him to do this. Now she claims that the board would like nothing else but this to happen. Do you believe that? Because we didn't see any scenes of this conversation happening. So like, do you think that's her way of keeping him involved?
It's her way of keeping him involved, and she knows Bill Hamilton better than anybody else on that show. And one thing we learned about Bill Hamilton early, love is ego stroked.
Yeah.
And what better way? You know what I mean? The first time I think we really saw him feeling himself or his ego with her was when he was in the hospital. He said, "Oh wait, you really do care. I thought you was trying to put me in the hospital.
You actually in the same room with my ex-wife. Like you really love me."
And calling out everything he needs. Just like that, you know.
He tried to like counter something the doctor said. She was like, she knew exactly what to say because she knew her husband of fucking 30 fucking years. I might be exaggerating, but you know.
Yeah, I think you know, it probably was that because I could definitely see them being empty nesters for a while before Naomi was born. So you probably hit that right on the head. Yeah, we know black don't crack. So I think that, you know, she knew exactly how to get to him. Yeah, and then
got him to donate more money.
And then she knew he would also feel bad because of the way he cut off their friendship for Hayley. And then instead of coming back and yelling at him, she was just like, "No, I just kill him with kindness." And then he
and get that check.
Yep. Damn.
Yeah.
Still got him by the balls.
I love how Dani's playing this with him. And I can't wait to see how Winterfest ends up being because I know it's going to be one of those catalysts where the shenanigans. It's going to be like before the anniversary party where it was all about planning this anniversary party and then it happens and then all hell breaks loose. And I feel like Winterfest is going to be similar because we also see Vernon having meetings and conversations with Sharon from the Articulates, even came to her hotel room. Maybe even more than once. I'm convinced that he's just planning a surprise for Anita, but of course there are some gatekeepers online who think there might be something more sinister going on. We've always suspected Vernon might be a little shady. Do you get the shady vibe from this, or do you think he's just trying to do something loving because Vernon is Vernon?
The break kayfabe. Once you said it in conversations, like, yeah, you're right. I think it's a big surprise. I think Sharon may actually have an ulterior motive, though. If anything.
He always did from Jump Street.
So I think that could be the twist, and then things get twisted around. Because I think Vernon's dirt is going to come out later. We've been kind of waiting. Every time we think it's like, oh, it's going to be at the Articulates concert, right? Oh, it's going to come after that. It was his first dirt was really helping Martin, but that wasn't dirty enough.
That was something that a grandfather would do.
A grandfather would do, and Anita was like, oh, okay, so how we clean this up? Let's and let's keep it from everybody. You know what I mean? So I do think that's coming, but I think we got to wait a little bit longer before we really see. But I definitely think he got something big surprise planned for Anita because he love that woman.
He really do. And I do hope, as much as I be hoping, I hope he's more shady from like a business standpoint to where he does things to keep the family's name intact. I don't want him to be sketchy towards Anita. I would like for them to be like that foundation, that one, like that anchor of this powerful Black family, that he's loyal. It is nice to see Black men love their women out loud. And I want them to be the one. And I hope Naomi and Jacob get it together too. In that situation. So let's talk about a non-traditional relationship. And that's
Lord, I know where we're going.
And Joey. And you know, my girl Vanessa, She is my favorite because she is not letting up on Joey and being more involved in his business. She doesn't, especially with Doug gone, she doesn't want to just be like this victim of Joey and now he has to do this to my business. Like she's like, no, I want to be a partner. So he finally relents after she had the bold, and I think he appreciates how bold she is because she took this man to the country club, was touching his hand, and he even was like, I can't believe you brought me here. And she's just like, so what? I don't give a fuck. Then you got Anastasia. That's the town gossip that has approached people. I always find it so interesting, people that can approach other people based on being nosy. Like Anastasia dead comes up to the table like, I heard this about you, and it's like, wow, you have some nerve. But Vanessa and Joey held their own with her.
Yep.
And it was a very interesting scene, and I think that still might be my most I'm most interested in how that scenario goes because he lets Vanessa run his escort agency.
Yeah, but how about don't touch the merchandise? And then when he found she was getting free samples,
he said, wait, I'm sorry, he was not charging you. I thought she was one of our best customers. Gonna find out he was, but that makes me love Vanessa even more. Like, sweetheart, I was not paying for it. No. Like, come on. And Diego was still with the shits. Like, yeah. I love it.
She was probably, she was probably his best, clearly something about her that's got Joey going crazy. So imagine Diego's like, I can't charge you for this. It's too good.
It's fun. It's fun. Even when, she would fall off a little bit, he would approach her and be like, yo, what's up? You haven't hit my phone in a little while. Like,
yeah.
It's like, okay. But she is fully a madame now.
She a boss. And it's going to be crazier next week.
It is. And it's funny. And I think that's the perfect role for her within his business because once she understands the business, because she was a customer at one point, she understands the clientele. And she's a woman. So it's just a different dynamic. So I love this for her. I love that she's taking charge of it. I love that she didn't waste any time making her mark.
She ain't grieving enough for me.
Nothing at all. And I love that. I'm sorry. I love that for her. She's like hands down definitely one of my favorite characters so far.
No, I feel you. I mean, shout out to her. I'm just interested how her son gonna react when he gets back involved. And then where's this daughter?
Yeah, I need them to like really do something about that because
they was twins. Yeah, they was twins.
They're so twins. I am a twin. I understand that there is no way in hell that a family tragedy would happen like that, and they wouldn't be together at some point.
I've never seen
even once.
I have multiple twins in my family, even around the 60s, and they still like this. So that doesn't make sense to me at all. It doesn't make sense
to me. So I do hope they get that together. But Joey also is suspicious of Randy. And for some reason, Randy decided to tell Joey when he caught them on security camera that they're having an affair. And Hayley's like, what are you talking about? Because Joey confronts Hayley. And it just adds an unnecessary lie to something that's already messy. And I do agree with Hayley on that part. But then you also got dummy number 1 and dummy number 2 trying to like pull off this scheme, even though Hayley is successfully poisoning Bill at the moment. But Joey is not believing it. Like he's just like, I'm keeping an eye on you. And I think that's going to blow up in Randy's face.
I don't want to call a black man on a black soap opera the dumbest man when you got Derek running around.
They're neck and neck. They neck and neck.
No, that take the cake. When he said, oh yeah, we have an affair. First of all, who says that? And then
they're cousins.
Exactly. That's just like, and then she even said, like, I wouldn't have no affair with you.
She even said, like, even if he was a cousin, you can never snatch something like somebody that look like me. I was like, okay, sis.
Right. Like, what are we doing here, bro? Like,
that was just so dumb.
He's the dumbest man alive.
No, he really is.
That's the one who should have got clipped
I was just like, you literally took the words out of
The
my
Clip
mouth.
and Doug, which we
And as
still don't
somebody
know.
that watches a lot of organized shows about organized crime and what Joey's operation is supposed to be, and somebody like Randy would have been got clipped. Like, simply just because you're not smart and you lie about dumb shit and you're fucking have no backbone whatsoever. And then you got Hayley, like you, like that's your ops. Like they're gonna get caught and it's gonna be crazy. But I can't wait till we talk about the coming attractions later on. But that's gonna definitely blow up in their faces for sure. Yeah. And would you consider Bill a business associate of Joey's? Because also him lying, bringing Bill into it and his wife is gonna get murky.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, they definitely business associates, you know, because didn't he called him to take care of the stuff for Martin, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you know. And that's how Bill keeps his hands clean. Exactly. So why you gonna say this man's wife?
So stupid.
Because what if he just
the fact that y'all are actually family members, like so stupid. And yeah. Oh, you know what was the most interesting thing for me last week? Was learning that there is a pre-existing relationship between Izaiah and Joey. Like, Joey is kind of the father figure for Izaiah, who accepted him for who he was and believed in him and actually wanted more for him, which was so shocking to me.
Yeah, same. I you know, the way they bonded, I said, no wonder he's the black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
You know, but usually because Isaiah's different, nobody understood him, and it would all make sense that Joey would be like, "Nah, I get where you're coming from. I got you, young blood."
Yep. And that was very shocking to see, and it also showed a softer side of Joey. So I've been really enjoying the character development recently. I know I talk about it all the time, but you just see more, the characters have more substance to them, which makes the scenes a little bit more grittier. Even when they introduce new characters like Izaiah, I feel like he is blending right in to the whole storyline. Like last week was such a fun week because it wasn't anything that was too crazy that happened. Like, because every week can't be a bombshell week. But every episode was jam-packed, interesting scenes, very captivating. And
that really, bombshell was Derek.
Yeah, that was the bombshell. That was the bombshell. Because we knew it was going to happen at some point, dummy. So, not you, Derek. But yeah, it was a very interesting week. A lot of characters got pushed forward. A lot of storylines got pushed forward. But shall we tune into what we got a preview of next week?
Yeah, let's roll tape.
Cause whoo!
Next on Beyond the Gates.
Been a long time, Izaiah.
Is Hayley your niece?
Haley's my wife.
I'm on a side quest right now, getting to know a certain police chief's fit and fine youngest son.
Look at you.
We can't let our meetings get back to Anita.
You're addicted.
I didn't love you.
What did he say? And honeymoon begins in 3, 2, 1.
Lot to unpack there.
Oh, I know. Okay, first I want to start with Joey saying that he loves Vanessa. And it's something so like, I'm speaking from, from my perspective, hearing a man like Joey say that he loves you, like the fact that he was able to like let his guard down enough to fall in love with you, like amazing.
We said it though. I said it a few weeks ago. I said, yeah, she put that on him. But it was more than that because for him to do all the measures, and there is part of me that do feel like he pulled, I don't want to get my biblical characters mixed up, but he killed the man because he wanted the wife. And the him getting him jammed up, that was one thing, of course.
Yeah.
But what they say, a lot of truths come through laughs or something like that. And when he said that, and he just said it so smoothly. Yeah, I killed him.
Yeah, and even Vanessa was like, I'm joking.
Yep. So between that, so I'm not surprised at all. Like, I think I'm kind of surprised he finally admitting it.
Yeah, same, because we saw that But Isaiah thinking that Hayley was Bill's niece because she's mad young. That is so funny and realistic.
Yep.
And the fact that girl side quest,
Yeah,
girl. Hayley got her eyes on Isaiah. You are too busy poisoning Bill. Get it together.
Yeah, see, that's what's gonna mess up because she's sitting up there like, "Oh, I could do two things at once."
Yep.
Like, no, you cannot.
Girl, not dealing with Randy, dumbass. You need a better team. Like, you need a better team of people around you. Andre and Dani treating that LA trip and photo shoot as their honeymoon. I just know that it's gonna be too good to be true. Something is gonna go down. I just know it.
I'm interested to see because we're definitely looking at something along the lines. I feel like another Bold and the Beautiful crossover is coming. Because that was the whole thing about them. Him being a model and everything.
Yeah, because Rich Forster is doing the photo shoot. That would be so cool. Oh, and Sweeps is coming up, right?
Yeah, we in the thick of it. So I think that's what we get.
It's gonna be some good episodes.
Now I'm wondering if I don't know if it's too soon, but I will be wondering if they go in reverse at some point in time because. That would definitely be something we would have to tune in for those episodes of Bold and the Beautiful if they do decide to say, you know what, we're gonna bring Andre Richardson and Danny Dupree over. You know what I mean? Which they would with Danny it would be different, but hit the button,
Right.
make people forget, and you teach them something new. You ain't got to address that she used to be Maya. So that would be interesting. But what I do love is that they doing these crossovers and them being a part of it. And we don't talk a lot about the ratings and stuff, but we've been seeing. And shout out to the gatekeepers out there for tuning in, and also. On social media, y'all know hashtag us at Dem Gates, as you do hashtag the Beyond the Gates, hashtag, jump a part of those conversations, but jump a part of our conversations here too.
Yeah, absolutely. We love reading other gatekeepers' theories and opinions. It's so fun, especially before we record the show. It's fun to see what other gatekeepers think about everything going on, and it touches so many different people in so many different ways, and I think that's what makes the show so good because we can say we love a certain character and then other gatekeepers will be like, this character sucks because of this, and you're like, oh shit, okay. But yeah, I am so excited for next week. It has already been a fantastic week of episodes, and I am only on the edge of my seat to see how next week plays out. Because we've also been seeing that a lot that they don't show in the preview also happens, and we're like, oh wow, okay, who would have knew all of this was going to go down. So make sure you tune in with us every week where you can get weekly Beyond the Gates content. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, leave a comment. I am always in them comments interacting with other gatekeepers. Let's keep that conversation going. Also on Facebook, make sure you like our page, Loving Them Gates, and we have other deep dives, and we'll definitely be bringing some more. So make sure you stay tuned.
Yeah. Also, make sure y'all, let us know what y'all want to cover too. Yeah. Because I love hearing what people, what they want to hear us talk about. We don't take any of the gatekeepers, the fellow gatekeepers lightly. We don't take it for granted. We are highly appreciative, especially, those who go through the whole show and listen, because we can tell, y'all be like, wait, y'all said something, y'all bring up stuff we said in the 55 minute mark, so we appreciate y'all.
We really do. And on that note, we will see y'all next week.
Thank you for joining this episode of Loving Them Gates. For more Beyond the Gates content from 6 Heart Media, be sure to, 1, like and subscribe, but also check out the podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms, as well as the playlist right here. We do deep dives as well as weekly recaps.